Yo, welcome back to the Gym with Kia podcast 216. You already know how we start. Start off by thanking God for all He has done for me and what He will continue to do for me. But not only me, my family, my friends, and those who I don't even know. Yo, it's been a minute. If I'm being quite frank, it's been almost a month. A little bit over a month. I haven't been on here. It seemed crazy, right? We try to do things and then they don't happen, or for whatever reason they just don't fall in line how we want them to. So no excuses. I just haven't been on it. I know I've been wanting to hop on here every Monday. Happy Monday for y'all. Today is Monday, so happy Monday. You know, if you are fortunate to hear this, then you're blessed. God has blessed you with another day. Another day of life. Been blessed. So we should just take a moment and thank God for this Monday. Because somebody somewhere, they didn't wake up. And somebody somewhere, wherever you're listening to this, at work or on your car ride or you're at the gym, who's ever listening to this, you're able to listen to this. But there are many of people out there who are sickly and they're not able to listen to anything right now. They're not in the condition, but we are. Even myself, me being able to speak here means something. And it means a lot. So we should take a second and be grateful for that. So I'm just wishing everybody to just have a happy Monday, and we're going to get into it. Whew. And Corinthians verse 15, chapter 22. The title of this episode is going to be Death. I'm sorry. But in verse 15:22, it says, death is inevitable, that everyone will experience it. The Bible also says that after death, people will stand before God and be judged by Him. Let that sink in. Whatever that means to you. But two things that stood out to me personally is that death is inevitable and that everyone will experience it. And the Bible also says that after death, people will stand before God and be judged. That's deep. You know, I believe it was 2013 to be exact. I lost my mom. And I was heartbroken. You know, I know that there's going to come a point in time that the people that we love, the people that we cherish, the ones that we hold dear to our heart, there's going to come a time where they're no longer going to be here. They're gonna die. Like, I know that, but that doesn't make it any easier. If that makes sense. It doesn't make it any easier. So, it was hard. Having to live my life physically, not spiritually, without my mom. You know, my mom loved me. I love my mom. And I know at times my mom was hard on me. But for good reason. My head was hard as a rock. But I knew that she cared. But not only for me, but for my siblings and my family. So now having her with me, it hurt. You know, there's not a moment, there's not a second, there's not an hour that I don't think about her, or she might cross my mind, or I may come across a funny picture of her, or a comment that she said, you know. So she lives with me in good memories, but it's still hard. Then before that, back in 2009, I lost my grandmother. That was first. Then my mother, and then my mother's mother died. My nanny, she died. 3 influential women. I talk about this in another episode, but I just want to talk about it again because of my mind. But I just know that they love me, and in the back of my mind, I always knew that time was coming. It's something that you can't prepare for mentally. There's no right words to say. They're just no longer here. No longer here. They're here with you in spirit, but it doesn't make it any easier. And they said we all will experience, even myself. So I look at that and like, one day I will no longer be here, and my children will have to experience that. You know? It's just deep. And I think that we all lose sight of that. Not knowing that any given day could be our last. Like, as I say that, I could be talking to you. I could be talking to on a podcast today, and within the next couple of days, or a week, or 2 weeks, maybe a month from now, I could be dead. It's just that serious. Like, when your number is called, you will experience death. You can't run from it. You can't escape it. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But we don't want to talk about that. We still focus on everything else. Being mean, being frustrated, being anxious, being worried. Whatever we're going through, we don't think about that. I think that if we all, including myself, if we shift our mind a little bit and focus on that, I think that we would kind of move differently. We would do things differently. If you knew in the back of your mind, like, man, let me praise God while I can. Let me do right while I can. Let me move in the right direction while I can. Maybe we would do things differently. But for many of us, we're just living in a moment. And in that moment, we don't have that on our mind. We have everything else on our mind. For many of us, bills, child support, whatever it is, we have a lot of things on our mind that's bothering us or consuming us other than that. Somebody told me this. There was a young girl. Her name was Amanda Berry. Quick story. Many of you guys know this. That's from Cleveland. She was kidnapped, and she was eventually found. She had been raped. A lot of different things that was happening to her, but they were able to locate. There was a guy was able to locate them and get them to safety. But I was briefly sharing that story because her mother, they say, she died literally of a broken heart because she worried so much. And her daughter was on her mind constantly, that she eventually ended up dying. You gotta read the story. But I look at that, and that can easily be one of us. Any of us. We can worry about something so much instead of giving it to God or spending time with God or giving whatever words we have and give it to Him. We don't do that. We just worry. We worry ourselves sick. And we're not supposed to do that. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be frustrated. Like, when my mom passed, I was frustrated. I was mad. And the reason for that is because I no longer had my mom. And when I looked around, I saw many people still have their mom. And they can spend time with her, and they can take her out on dates for Mother's Day or her birthday. I no longer can do that. So for a very long time, it just bothered me. For a very long time. And for many of us, holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving will be in about 2 to 3 weeks, if that. And Christmas shortly after. And those times are very, very hard for many of us. Because even though it's a time of celebration and being thankful and Christmas and all that stuff, we still are hurting for whatever we've been through or going through. You might have lost your mom to death. You might have lost I lost my grandmother to cancer. Whatever it is, it's just, you're dealing with that. And that's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. Because while you're having a good time, you might be thinking of a good time that you guys shared together. On Christmas. On Thanksgiving. As, Thanksgiving is surely approaching. I remember the last we had a, well, it wasn't Thanksgiving, but it was around Thanksgiving. And I remember the last time me and my mom, we had something together as a family. And my mom was there. It was good. It was pretty cool. We was doing something for my cousin because he was one of the first. Sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulties, but I was saying we were doing something for my cousin because at that time he was one of the first people in my family to go to college, and my mom was there. We all donated money, and she went off to college. So I'm saying all this to say we all need to value our life while we can. Because at any given moment, any given day, any given month, we all can experience death. We all. We're not exempt. We're not invincible. It can happen. It can happen. So we need to appreciate our lives a little bit more. Appreciate God a little bit more. Pray just a little bit harder. Spend time a little bit more with Him in His presence. And not just when we are in need. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of here. Many of us only come to God when it's convenient, or we're going through something, and He's always going to be there for us to listen, because He's never going to forsake us. He's always going to be there. But how about let's come to Him before we experience that loss or that death in the family, before we lose that job, before we're struggling to pay this, before we don't know what to do. How about we come to Him before then? How about that? But no matter when we come to Him, He's always going to be there. But we need to focus on being there and being present with God, even when we don't even need anything, because it's by His grace that we're still here. Thank you guys for listening to the Genuine Care Podcast 216. I will see you on Friday.